stage, you have earned money. If you didn't make it to it and you were eliminated in the Swiss stage, unfortunately, you went home with nothing. But first, 10,000, second, 7,000, and third, 4,000.
We got Team Elektros, Dizzy, Elevate, Navi, Team Queso, Tribe Gaming, Synchronic, and HTM Esports all competing here today for, like you mentioned, a piece of that $30,000. But let's take a look at our
this little champion crown it as well out of the prize pool on the line. With the first match going to be Team Navi versus Team Elektros, Tribe Gaming versus Team Queso, Dizzy versus Synchronic, and then HTM Esports versus Elevate. A lot of good matches. Anything specific?
Time you're looking at this Navi squad, you gotta think they're the favorites. We know they're fan favorites. Klaus, Gaku, looking at this Navi squad, you gotta think they're the favorites. We know they're fan favorites. Klaus, Gaku, Yada, Kazuma, and Stars. They are some really amazing attackers, some really creative attackers. But let's see how they've been able to.
Bro is always the average hit rate, which means, for example, for Loop, unfortunately, he's like having 0 3-stars out of 13 attacks, which is really uncommon for him. But that's the hit rate. The next one is then the average stars. Then we have the average destruction and obviously the average time as well. So we see way
13 for Loop. But it's going to be an amazing first match, so let's jump straight into it.
And it looks like we're right into the action here. We got Diego in. We've missed a little bit of the attack here, but making the way towards the Town Hall, we got Roots and we have the Valkyries, a very common attack for everyone, as we should see this quite a bit throughout our tournament. Make the way towards the Town Hall. Once that gets taken down, obviously we don't know what happened in the opening of this attack, but we're already halfway through and the Town Hall's looking secured.
Town Hall's looking secured, but just take a look at how much damage those scatter shots are dealing. That is just crazy. Those Root Riders are disappearing, and the Town Hall still has to go down, and finally it does. It is getting secured exactly as you said, but the Root Riders did not survive this push, which means there's just so much base left on the far right of your screen. Each of those defenses are having so many hit points. And I think this should be as well maybe the moment where we're really reminding every viewer out there who's maybe not as familiar with the hard mode what exactly the hard mode is. It means that the defenses overall deal 20% more damage. And yes, this means as well it's like stacking together with like things like Rage Towers, which means the new geared defense with the Rage Tower can get defensive number up to 1,236 DPS. That is just insane. On top of that, out of the defending hero, he had a couple of 1-stars as well. So 1-stars can for sure happen. It felt like the strongest strategies right now are still combined with like Root Riders. Something else which worked amazingly well for the pros is as well the Super Witches, because they're generating their own tanks, which is really nice. And something which I think is interesting as well, which is getting used a lot, which might be not as common than for the regular game, is the Snake Bracelet. That's right, it's getting used quite a bit, because remember, those defenses are hitting harder, which means if the snakes are taking like 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 monolith shots, that is a really big deal in this hard mode, because the defense are dealing so much more damage. So this is why you might see the pros using equipments which you might not see as often, but there's always a thought behind it.
Yeah, and one thing also to kind of take into effect, we saw 1 earthquake there from Gaku. Sometimes you're going to need to bring 2 earthquakes with the fireball being capped at that level 21. So it's a lot of those little details that you got to keep an eye on throughout here today. But Gaku is making his way towards that Town Hall, had a nice little fireball, got great value on that right side, took out a whole compartment with that Grand Warden, and now all the Super Witches are going to make their way towards the Town Hall. King's going to join that barracks on the left side, and he's got a strong push through the middle with that jump spell.
Ooh, the Queen for now, though, is going around the outside. Is she coming back? There would be a lot of DPS which is missing, but no, she's turning around. Now the Wizards on the X-Bow on the left are funneling perfectly, and so far this attack looks beautiful. But now, again, it's about this core defense. I mean, we have seen this defense changing attacks quite a bit, because the damage output, even without a Rage Tower close by, is just crazy. There's the jump, but can those skeletons now tank?
Yeah, the multi-gear tower is just an absolute unit. Worth investing those spells, as we see the freeze spell going in there to slow it down, and the big boy and queen bounce in there and take that multi-gear tower out. So that is one major defense, but look at the backside of this base too. We got scatter shots, we got the monolith, we got defending heroes. He's got a strong army, but he's got a lot of base remaining.
Yeah, there goes the Queen ability though, spawning some more healers, and this means the troops for now can stay alive and be a little bit longer, but this scatter, this monolith is just dealing so much damage. The Royal Champion ability is not there anymore, so she has to somehow deal as much damage as possible. It just feels like this backhand is a little bit too much, but we talked about it earlier. With less 3-stars, those percentage points are even more important, because the average destruction in the Swiss stage was around 88%, and so far both teams might drop below, but maybe Gaku can like collect a couple more outside buildings to increase the percentage a little bit further for his team.
He's still got a couple, or one witch right there with the big boy, trying to get through, maybe pick up that Tesla. He's got that storage weakened up. There's the 88% you spoke of, maybe 89, 90. Yeah, there we go, up to 90%. As everything is starting to finally fade out, but it is a very nice attack here for Gaku. Although it is a miss, 91% compared to the 61% miss of Elektros, as whether you're setting up with a Warden Walk or just taking your time with the attack, it's a lot more deliberate. But Alban is coming in with that Royal Champion charge into Dragon, so gonna look to bring that Royal Champion in. She runs into the Tornado, Gigabot, or Giant Bomb, excuse me, over there, dealing some damage to her and that Fox, using some of those rocket loons to weaken things up. Looks like the Royal Champion's getting some pretty nice value with the haste vial as well. Yeah, he's got a great funnel set up here on that right side.
What a baited entry. This is crazy. I'm wondering if we're going to see a lot of black mines then now as well against the dragons. But I mean, take a look at the street of different giant bombs around this far right side. This was for sure expected from Navi with this entry. But this means that the Fox did go down early, which means the Royal Champ is not getting most likely the value he was looking for. He was trying to force her further into the core. And when we see a lot of invis with rages, we typically see the takedown of the Town Hall, because the combination of the active haste ability with the rage is just dealing a ton of damage. And while the Town Hall is quite tanky, that combination can just melt it like it's nothing. So he has to go with the blimp now to take down the Town Hall. The rage tower is going off. But luckily, maybe, hopefully, the scatter is getting overwhelmed quite quickly.
Yeah, keep an eye on the Town Hall. We got Yetis in the Clan Castle, so that should take that Town Hall down. But also at the same time, it does pull those Ice Golems out of the Clan Castle. Dragons are spreading a little bit out. We got the Queen over there on the left as well, so she's going to be able to deal a lot of damage. But these dragons have definitely thinned. There goes the Minion Prince's ability with those new metal pants, which are going to allow him to take a little bit more damage. He's going to come over and assist that Queen. But a lot of these dragons have faded out, and he's going to go into a really heavy damage area with this Queen.
Yeah, and something as well to consider right now, with the 3-star rate being way lower, with those really big pushes into the core or close to the core, you might take down some of those core buildings. But as long as you're not able to push through, you're always skipping those defenses which are covering the outside, and this means you're having lower percentages. Exactly like this one. There's not much in the core left, but there's always some buildings on the outside which are covering those outside buildings, which is not allowing Amyolin to collect a couple of more percentages. And we have seen earlier from Navi, from Gaku, for example, where he was able to have a group 3 out of 3 is super impressive. But it seems like Yara is first, and they're going in with this mass invisibility spell, Royal Gem and Charge combination of their own with the dragons. It is just so powerful, and as long as you're deploying the giant bombs perfectly, there is not much of fighting back as long as you're deploying those invis spells perfectly timing-wise, because how do you attack an invisible Royal Champion? That's a bit tricky.
Yeah, you can't see her. It's John Cena World Champion out here, as she's able to make her way deep inside the bases here. 11 invis is a ton of invisibility. So let's see what Yada's able to get through here as he's working through getting. Oh, he's actually going to go ahead and invis that mortar so that the Royal Champion goes the way that he wants her to. He's going to go into that Fire Spitter, pulls out a couple of those Clan Castle troops, which are actually going to go over to his Flame Flinger. So gotta keep an eye on that and get those Clan Castle troops under control.
Yeah, I think those Clan Castle troops are going to be a big issue. I don't know how he could take them out. I guess he's just going to accept that the Flame Flinger is going to go down. The Super Minions will eventually take them out, but the Siege could have gotten more value, while the Haste Valve at the top side right now is indeed getting more value, and there's not as much base left at this point. As well, the Bay Dragon is coming in clutch, in my opinion, because he is picking up exactly those outside buildings, which are allowing those Navi players to have the higher average destruction. As well now, dragons are up next, and he has as well the Minion Prince and the Warden to support them, while the King right now is using bottom compartment kind of for funneling. And interestingly enough, he's not running the Archer Queen.
Yeah, the Royal Champion just went down from that crazy charge. Minion Prince is in there with the Angry Jelly, which means he's going to target those defenses for the first few seconds, which will allow him to surge into the middle of the base. The Dragons are going to spread out, but that funnel up top is set really, really nice. All the Dragons got to do is make their way through the center of this base. Easier said than done, I know, but there's a lot of defenses firing on those Dragons now. He's got to get the Town Hall down as it's a little bit weak. Here comes the Minion Prince from that bottom side with the Angry Jellies. Should be able to help him get to the Town Hall as well if it's not down yet. But the Dragons are going to secure the Town Hall, and Minion Prince is joining the party.
I would love to know how much damage this new defense right now dealt in this attack. It took down like 6 dragons on its own. This is just crazy. Everything avoided it. Did not really go for the defense itself. They somehow skipped it and went for the Town Hall, and it just dealt so much damage. This defense is insane with those numbers, and it just, I mean, as I said, it took down like 6 dragons on its own, and the Town Hall was well protected during that time because of all the hit points. And this means in the end, with the problem of the Flame Flinger getting taken care of early on, and this already the 3-star with being not as big, but on this one, it is going to be the Rage Towers. If the Rage Towers cannot be handled quickly, this is going to be a big, big problem. And we have Super Witches, which tend to be quite tanky. I'm not sure how tanky they're going to be versus Rage Towers, though.
Yeah, and that Warden, he's taking a lot of damage. You got to keep an eye on the Warden, Rosios. Oh, come on, come on, come on. He's fighting for his life. The Fireball goes off. I think that Fireball was a little bit early there. Actually, I'm pretty confident that Fireball was early there from Rosio's Grand Warden, as he was taking so much damage from the Expo and the Ricochet Cannon. We're seeing these merged defenses be the keys to success so far. Whether it's the multi-gear tower or that Ricochet Cannon, they are so tough to deal with so far in hard mode.
Run, Warden, run! As he's getting chased from those archers from the Clan Castle. But yes, the Rage Tower is going to stay alive, which is going to be a big factor for the end of the attack if she can get that far. And on top of that, we have now those 2 Fire Spitters. And she's going right in between of them. Like, we know, it's like roughly 180 degree what those Fire Spitters can cover. But if you're going in between, that is a lot of damage. And with this entry point, that's what she's about to do. So let's hope that those troops can somehow handle this.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough because also, if she makes it past the Fire Spitters, which that's very possible, then you're going into 2 scatter shots collapsing in on you, the Town Hall firing. It's going to be a ton of damage. Those big boys are going to have to bounce their way to the middle of this base, get out in front, and provide as much tanking as possible. The Queen goes down on the outside. Jump spell is in. The King is in there crawling his way through with that new skin, but has to use the Invis just to protect the troops because those Fire Spitters are starting to deal out so much damage at you. This attack is really making me nervous as we make our way to the Town Hall.
Yeah, and she turned the witches invisible, but this meant the healers were unprotected. At this point, we only have the healers which were spawned from the Archer Queen. Remember, those are non-maxed healers, so they have a little bit of less healing. The witches are trying to somehow take down the Town Hall, which they hopefully should. And the Flame Flare getting some more percentages at the bottom side, but 3 stars are really far away. And it seems like that the players of Team Elektros are really struggling versus the bases of Navi. And I mean, it is just looking rough. The Flame Flinger picking up some more defenses, and the Royal Champ can still be deployed, which should be done hopefully soon. But 3 stars are completely out of reach.
Yeah, way too much damage. I mean, we still got the multi-gear tower up there in the middle, which is going to deal out so much, but also it's protected by the King and the Minion Prince, which is hard to overcome even in normal mode. But Rosio's doing her best to get that percentage up here as she climbs her way to the 80%. I think there might be a couple troops up top. World Champion throwing those rocket spears to get the monolith down, but she's going to go right into a lot of damage, and it's going to finish out at 79%. And man, it's shaky and really having a hard time getting past that 80% mark so far. But like you said, 1 triple can get him there. Klaus is in with another World Champion charge. Does have a recall in there, so can elect to recall the World Champion after he gets some value. And he's got plenty of roots to back up these Valkyries, which should be able to push through the middle. Uses that Invis to push the World Champion in towards that scatter shot. Nice charge here from Klaus in this Royal Champion.
Yeah, and Klaus just did something which is super crucial when you're playing this Tower of Surgery with the Royal Champion charge, and that is skipping defense like he does right now with the Poison Tower. So if you want to maximize the value of this strategy in your own attacks, because this is something you can 100% copy from the pros, even though they're playing like with some extra restrictions, is use the invisibility spells to skip a couple of defenses to give the aura of the Royal Champion even more value. Because with pushing her forward, she can deal damage to already the next buildings and maybe even buildings behind her with the aura. That means that you're just moving through the base way quicker. This is really how the pros or overall players who are playing the Surgery are trying to maximize the value out of this equipment. And it's just something really crucial. As soon as you're learning that and getting that into your own attacks, you will do just amazing with this strategy overall. And now he's about to enter and take a look at that bash. Those 20% on the defending heroes forces the king ability right away.
Yeah, the king was in trouble. Minion Prince in the air. The king can do nothing to attack him, so the queen's going to come over and help him out. But his king already went to Phoenix, so the king is taken down. The queen's going to make her way into the scatter shot compartment. Does have a little bit of tanking there from the Phoenix and that log launcher, as all the roots are up there on the top side. Everything's going to look to join in together towards the middle of the space. It's a long way to go to the town hall, but Klaus is feeling confident that he can get there as his queen is getting to the middle compartment. She still has ability that looks like it's going to be forced with this monolith.
Yeah, the monolith though is getting tanked right now from those Yetis, which is quite nice. The town hall has to still go down, which can be on those type of attacks quite risky sometimes. But with the Warden, with the Royal Champion on the town hall now, and Diggy stunning it, it looks really solid to already get the second star. And is there enough power on the back end, or might this be the first 3-star? The Royal Champion hopefully is staying behind those Root Riders so they can tank for it. That would be amazing. The Roots are now overtaking the Royal Champion. She has to stay alive for this.
He's still got to freeze so he can help her out a little bit. Royal Champion is barely hanging on there. Remember, the Electro Boots do have a little bit of self-healing in there, so she'll be able to gain back a little bit of health, not to mention those healers are in there. But she does finally go down. Queen's just got to beat through this wall. We got 10 seconds. Klaus is all in, and it's going to be our first 3-star of the match. Navi pushed their lead even further with a beautifully executed 3-star from the one and only Klaus. Excuse me, sorry. Loop coming in next with another just straight up in Root Riders here. I was looking for the Invises, but actually we're gonna go with a Bat Bomb into Root Riders. A beautiful plan if he can get both these Fire Spitters and the monolith down, but he does make one of those Fire Spitters invisible. Did the poison go off there? I see the root. Oh, it's the Town Hall. The Town Hall's damaged, getting those bats taken out, so he doesn't get either Fire Spitter out.
Okay, and the question now is, can he somehow clutch this with this overall attack? Because remember, we have Loop with so far 0 3-stars within this tournament, within this warm-up tournament for him. So he really needs to show up now as his team needs him the most. So everything is on his shoulder right now, and it feels like the spiky ball was supposed to go into the core bash, right?
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. The King's going to get taken out early there, but also missing both of the Fire Spitters with those bats. The timing just off just a split second on the Invises, allowing the Town Hall to fire and finish off all those bats. Now the Queen is walking away from all these roots, which the Warden is following her. We got to see, we need this Warden to follow the roots into the middle. Great Warden ability there. He's going to be able to protect everything, but the Queen's got to find a way back into the base, which there's really no path for her. So it's going to be a long shot for the Queen to get that damage in there, but also the roots need to make their way towards that Town Hall now.
Yeah, as we see that the new siege machines keep flinging those barrels into the core. I'm just trying to see what exactly they're flinging. I think that was a Yeti, which he had in there as well. It is especially nice if you can fling like an Ice Golem is typically a lot of value within the core of the base. We have as well Test Loons, which pros like to bring in there. But for this one, it was unfortunately not enough, as you have mentioned at the beginning, with not getting the Fire Spitters out of the way early with his Skelly Donut. Really has cost him, because the Town Hall, with his with the quick firing and everything, really gave him a rough time there. And then the follow-up was just not powerful enough to really push across and get the 3-star. And yet again, 60% 2-star. Those Navi bases are defending like crazy right now.
Yeah, Navi have brought some really good bases. that troop launcher is a really unique unit. It's the newest siege machine that we kind of saw there at the beginning of the attack. It launches barrels to the closest units, kind of similar like the Warden AI. And in those barrels, you're going to have giants, you're going to have barbarians, wall breakers, archers. Later today, we have a nice slate of wars for you. We're going to play 8 matches here on it's Stars coming in with some root riders. We're going to play Flinger up top. Those enemy heroes up there. Great job setting up
this bullhead to take down that defender. What is going on? Okay, Stars, okay. He's already getting those outside corner out of the way. Now charging here with the coming of the Queen and the Warden behind, which is super interesting combination. And now trying to push the Town Hall. Yes, a wall break. Right now, just trying to set up those troops, but the Town Hall went down, which is a great thing. The Roots are right now struggling, especially with the piercing shots of the Fire Spirit. The healers are going down as well.
Yeah, those Fire Spitters deal out so much damage. The Monolith also opened up that Flame Flinger up top, so we got super minions there, but this one is starting to fade for Stars as all the Roots are down. Few super minions remain. The Queen, or no, excuse me, the Royal Champion. The Queen already went down. The Royal Champion working there on the right side. Yeah, this one's definitely not going to have enough gas in the tank, but really, Stars did all Navi needed. All they need is some solid 2-star attacks to finish this war out.
That's true. Just play it safe. Get those attacks in. Get those 2 stars with the percentage. And that is what Stars did with this attack, even though the plan was really creative with having an Angry Jelly Ward in charge, which is really cool to see. But that is something which a lot of people were excited about, because it feels like with this hard mode, you really need to be somewhat creative with your approaches. And a lot of times the default strategies, the default army compositions cannot really be forced on every single base or really.
3-star here in the worst way, and it's going to be El Tano coming in with some dragons, 11 invises for that Royal Champion charge, and a couple of Yetis as well, maybe to provide a little bit of cushion. No Archer Queen on this one, Itsu, so taking a lot of damage out of the picture, maybe going for the tanking instead with the King.
Yeah, and I feel like as well with the heroes overall taking so much damage, a lot of times the King is doing like roughly the same job of funneling as the Archer Queen, especially with the dragons. But on this one, what he's trying to do is to try to use the King to funnel the Royal Champion, because they're really trying to enable this Royal Champion charge as much as possible. And for that, he's even investing a blimp to not just get the Town Hall, instead he's popping a bit early, because with this, what he's trying to do right now is to clear out the left side, the bottom side, and with that, you're seeing already the pattern which he's creating for his Royal Champion to enter into the core. But he's going to the Giga Bomb right now, so what he's doing right now, he's saying, hey, you put the Giga Bomb here. I think the other side is baited when it comes down to like giant bombs and everything, because this is the mind game you can do with this visible trap here.
Yeah, and that's the one big change here at Town Hall 17. Not only did we merge the Eagle with the Town Hall, but the Giga Bomb is now external, and you can visibly see where it is on the base. El Tano taking advantage of that, but it does cost him his Spirit Fox. But it looks like he's able to charge in here and get tons of value, as both the Fire Spitters and now the Monolith looking to go down from this Royal Champion. He's going to set up the funnel here for the Drags, and they should be able to go right in towards that Town Hall. He's actually going to go ahead and bring the Royal Champion towards the Town Hall now. But I don't think he's going to have enough invises quite to take the Town Hall down. He will get some shots on it and weaken it up, though. Oh, wait a second. He might. Oh, the Town Hall falls. Wow. Crazy Royal Champion value.
Yep, this is why you always bring this rage spell with this army composition, so you can do things like that within 2 invisibility spell rotations. He's taking down the Town Hall with that rage spell together, and now he has to overpower this 1 rage tower on defense, which is not going to be easy, but at least it's only covering scatter mostly. Otherwise, the multi-front tower, but that should be taken care of before the rage tower can even trigger. So that's, I guess, the good news for him. But right now, he's getting a lot of black mines versus dragons.
Yeah, that side is definitely the entry point for the dragons that they were expecting. But with so much of this base already taken care of, you gotta like his odds to get to the back end of this base and get the 3-star here. He's pulling those ice golems away as well with the archers over there on the far left side. If he can keep those ice golems away from the dragons, they're gonna have a clear path to the heroes and that multi-gear tower in the back. It's really going to be the multi-gear tower and that multi-archer tower. They're going to be the main problems for these dragons as they're going to look to try to get the 3-star.
Yeah, but we have seen just so many air skeletons around this area. We had overall a total of 4 air skeletons in this base because Navi knew, okay, right now, dragons are one of the strongest compositions after a Royal Champion charge. And this is really what they were expecting from Team Elektros. And I think overall, you just have to say, Navi were perfectly predicting the entries.
Does have a late 8 of those invisibility spells for this Royal Champion charge as she's starting her way at the bottom, going right into that multi-gear tower.
Yeah, and you see again, this really important trick of skipping some of those defenses. This is such a crucial thing of really utilizing this equipment even more. Skipping defenses if it's possible and the Royal Champion is not running into too much damage. And that's exactly what he's trying to do right now. He would skip the Wizard Tower then with the next rotation if he has to. The Testa is popping up now, luring the Royal Champion further to the outside. And as well, something which I'm looking forward to is he has currently the lock launcher selected, so he might just try to snipe some defense, maybe the fire spitter from the far left side or something. Let's see how he's going to utilize that siege machine.
I'm just keeping my eye on Kazuma. Like, how do you do this World Champion charge? Like, hunched over, or is he lay? I don't even know. Like, I have a hard enough time getting the timing right. Kazuma's just chill, just a chill guy on the bed, getting that Royal Champion value all set up, recalls her, and now he's going to bring those Clan Castle troops over to the right side. There's the one nice thing about that Royal Champion charge, especially on these ground attacks, as you can get those ice golems out and kind of deal with them a little bit early here. He's having a little bit of trouble, but the Valkyrie will go ahead and be enough to take out those archers and get the ice golems over there so that the queen can go ahead and work on taking them down. It's going to be a long path to the town hall, but it's a pretty clear path. He's going to go ahead and start the rest of his assault now.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to take down that compartment, another ice golem to reinforce him and make sure that he's tanking a little bit better there. But remember the time as well. He has so far taken down only 30% of the base and is having only a little bit more than 1 minute left. And with those heroes dealing like less damage overall, this might be a problem. The multi-arch towers on the lock launcher as well, but the lock launcher might take down that fire spitter as we were expecting earlier. And the Root Riser now starting on the complete different side, and he's having a really surgical attack, and Bash, the tunnel, is really far on the back end.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about this. He's got a long way to go, but also, you mentioned it, the time is ticking. Less than 1 minute, 50 seconds remain, and Kazuma's got to get all the way to this town hall, which is a couple compartments away. The queen goes down. He's got Phoenix on the bottom. It's all up to the Roots and this Royal Champion. This one is definitely in danger, but remember, pretty much any 1-star should win this one for them, but he definitely wants to at least secure that town hall and get the 11-10 victory. So there's no question of percent, but that Royal Champion has got a lot of work to do still.
Yeah, and with one of the nerfs from the last year, those Root Riders are not dealing a lot of damage. They're great tanks, they're great in utility of opening compartments, but not great in dealing damage. And the town hall is indeed going down, which is nice for Kazuma, securing this victory with 11 to 10 stars within this first match. But in the end, not a 3-star. Most of the attacks of Navi were able to come close,
because they defended so well in that war, holding Team Elektros to 10 stars, but also the percentage for Team Elektros was very low. So Navi will advance in the upper bracket as we take a look at the stats and look at the percentage difference there. Just a massive swing in percent. All of Navi's attacks 90% or higher, whereas Team Elektros, not even one attack in the 90% range. That's a little bit of a Go!